Hello there, Crystal here. Hope all of you are doing well. Let me know if this has ever happened to you. So you register your account, your seller account on Amazon in the UAE or Amazon KSA. You get approved. And after a few days, you get an email from Amazon asking you something related to VAT tax services. Now, it becomes a little bit confusing, especially if you're a new seller in this whole e-commerce space, or if you're what is known as an international seller, basically somebody selling as a non-resident to the UAE and KSA. Now listen, you might decide to do taxes and VAT and VAT registration yourself, or your business might be at a level where you're able to employ someone, a business or a company, to do VAT taxes and filing on your behalf. However, you need to know the information that we're going to be talking about tonight and dissecting in tonight's webinar, because, well, quite simply, you need to know if the person that you are hiring or working with actually is doing a good job. With that being said, welcome everyone, Amy Kupshi. I hope I'm saying your last name correct. I think I am. She is the co-founder and CEO of Safari Star Tax Services. Safari Star has offices in the UAE, in the UK, and in China as well. Hi, Amy, and thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Hello, Crystal. Nice to meet you, and nice to meet you, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm really glad.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Amy, we're going to be talking a little bit about Safari Star, and then we're going to be dissecting everything related to VAT. But before we get started, I want to talk about something that's very important, which is, I guess it's a little bit of a misconception for some people. I'm talking about who can actually become a seller on Amazon in the UAE and KSA. So we're going to take a few steps back. I know some of you know this information and some of you are already sellers. However, we want to try to help the community in general. Amazon tend to have a list of approved countries that can register and become sellers on Amazon in each and every marketplace. So Amazon UAE is a marketplace, Amazon KSA is a marketplace, and collectively they fall under the Amazon Middle East marketplace. So there is a list of approved countries for Amazon UAE and Amazon KSA. And if you are a resident, a national, or a company that is located in one of these countries, then basically you're free to become a seller on Amazon. Let me quickly share with you the actual list so that you can see it right now. I would suggest that you take a quick screenshot. So the countries, the UAE countries, this is for the Amazon UAE. As you can see, it's a big list of countries. For Amazon KSA, it's somewhat of a smaller list, but there is a few, there are a few countries that are in common. So just to repeat again, if you are a national, a resident, or you own a company in one of these countries, then you can sell on Amazon, either Amazon UAE or Amazon KSA. And please don't be confused with the countries that you see here and think, oh, well, if my country is approved on Amazon KSA, then it should be approved on Amazon worldwide, because that's not actually the case. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, Amy, let's get started. What do we want to start off with? Let's start off with a little bit about Safari Star and introducing the company and yourself as well. What do you think?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm really glad and very honored to come here to share my knowledge with you guys. So I made a slide to show you guys.
Yeah.
First of all, let me introduce what we're gonna do today. So today we will learn from the webinar. first I will introduce our company, and we will share the tax and the VAT system. Safari Star is it's established in UAE at 2019. So from the 2018 was VAT was implemented in Middle East. So why Safari Star was established in 2019 is that Amazon was take over Souk.com as 2018, and once Amazon will have sellers was more internationally, so we follow Amazon where established countries, for example, in whole Europe, Mexico, Australia, Canada, all the services we provide. So at the 2019, we took over one of the general trading company called Safari Star General Trading Company, established in UAE in 2012. At that time, where the purpose of take of the company is will help overseas company can sell on Amazon was on Souk.com and Noon.com. That's the purpose of take of the company. And we, at the same time, we set up a tax service at UAE to provide a tax service for all the company which we serve. That's the purpose of the initial setup. From the left side of the picture was with Noon, the CEO in China at 2019. And the December time was a promotion to attract the seller from China to Noon.com platform. About Safari Star, we are VAT compliance specialist. So we provide service in all around the world. We just said we working closely with Amazon, and Amazon will structure the countries we all provide service. For example, in Europe, so our headquarters is in UK. Originally started from UK, and then we service from Spain. We have office in Spain and France, Germany, Poland, Czech Republic, Austria, Netherlands, and Sweden. So 10 countries in Europe, which is
you've got a lot of European countries, huh? Oh, but
yes.
all of them are to service Amazon sellers, basically.
Yes, Amazon seller basically. And also then we structured in Middle East, and also we provide service in Mexico and Canada and the USA.
Yeah.
And currently we are specialists for all Amazon sellers. Actually, we service over 10,000 Amazon sellers for all VAT registration around the world.
Yeah. Amy, what does it mean to be an Amazon service provider, part of the SPN? Because I know some companies are, some companies aren't. So what is the Amazon SPN? Can you just briefly explain that?
Yeah, Amazon SPN is Amazon Service Provider Network. If you want to join Amazon Service Provider Network, you have to be a professional background, and you have to have a good understanding with e-commerce. And if you want to join the network, I have to take a lot of assessments to join. So in the whole Amazon SPN service network for VAT compliance, for I understand, around there's only 6 companies for service in Middle East. Not that many. So we are one of them. We're really happy. So basically, if you choose service from Amazon SPN, and which is guaranteed have a credibility, which you'll be trust. Yeah.
Okay.
And so this is you from this link you can get our company information from Amazon. So you are Amazon seller, you can just put the link in and select from tax provider, and from which, for example, in UAE or Saudi, you will find our company details there. I talk a little bit about myself. My My name is Amy. I just said, yeah. My surname is Kupcha, is my husband's surname. I'm a Chinese born, and I come to UK study since 2000. Year 2000. I'm living UK is already 20 years. So I originally started a master degree, and I finished study, and I work in local in UK, one of the biggest travel company is called Travelers. And then I'm trading online and sell on Amazon and eBay since 2009. I was running my own business very successfully and going as a seller. And why I started to provide another service for like VAT compliance is start from year 2016. I set up a company called Acumen International Business Consultancy. It's Acumen IBC. The reason for setup is that as I'm a seller, I meet a lot of issues. For example, I found that there's a brand like trademark registration, so it's like a infringement and VAT compliance, VAT check. So all the things I've been through. So I found out there's a lot of requirements. If you be a seller, you need to know a lot of things related to make sure your business is running smoothly. At the time, start from 2009 into 2016, the business going really well. But I start from around beginning of 16, and I found that there's a lot of seller from overseas into UK market. Because I'm based in UK, my market I'll sell in Europe and the UK. So at that time, before they sell, it's really easy sell on Amazon, same as now as Middle East, because Amazon is a new market for Middle East. So there's so many demand, so many new products you can get in. It's so easy for you to get your products
100%,
right.
100%.
Same as, so 10 years ago in Europe, same as now the Middle East. Basically, I'm getting there.
You're saying that, Amy, because a lot of people actually think that that's a negative thing. But
No.
any seller with a lot of experience like yourself and me, we know that this is actually a very big advantage, being able to compete so easily, even if the marketplace is a little bit smaller, but at the end it's growing at a very fast pace, especially what happened last year. Maybe the growth last year was 5 years all bunched together in 1 year for Amazon, especially. So yeah,
it's a great opportunity to enter now. If you after a couple years, 2-3 years, when you enter the market, you will, it's hard for you to build your own brand. So at the beginning, people have no branding was to thinking, because at that time, Amazon only started in Europe.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm selling like mobile phone accessories, mobile phone cases. As my list in the top, I don't know why. Just like you just keep going, build like your stock, and just make sure not run your stock, and then you will find that people will follow your listing, hijack your listing, and you will find out, oh, I have to register brands to make sure my listing be protected, right? And also at that time, because of people sell online, they don't know. I sell online, I have to pay tax. I'm the same, I don't know. And then you will find out, oh, because you have to be VAT compliant. Then all the things I come through, that I know what seller you have to understand, what you needed to do. So that at the same time, I also found the opportunities, because I'm the seller and I know what the seller need. So I provide a service for the people who are come from overseas, sell in Europe. That's why, because I'm a Chinese, I take the advantage as well. So I have a know there, and I understand the local culture and the both culture. So that's why I set up the VAT compliance service from year 2016. And at year 2017, I set up an office in China, and to mainly attract Chinese companies, provide service for them. And then from year 2019, I set up office in Dubai. And now we're developing Saudi, and expecting Saudi office is gonna be set up by April, and Mexico City office set up by April as well. So so apart from understand of the VAT compliance service, and I also understand how e-commerce, how seller works. So if you have any query, you can always ask me.
Perfect.
Okay, so now let's get from the what we will talk about today. So let's understand UAE and KSA tax and VAT system. The VAT means is value added tax. So what that means is when you sell products, once the value go up, and then you need to pay that margin of the tax. That's called value added tax. So you will pay the products of the tax. So some places called the GST, called the goods of the tax. So some places called the VAT. But I think for Middle East, the VAT system is pretty much similar as the UK. So for me, it's very easy to understand. So for VAT system was implemented in UAE is at 1st January 2018. And the VAT rate is one of the lowest in the world, which is only 5%. If I tell you the highest VAT rate in Europe is 29%. So which this margin, and 5% is really nothing.
Yeah.
In
you
UK,
should be happy. Yeah.
yes. UK VAT is 20%.
Yeah.
So basically, the VAT is who's paying VAT? It's actually the VAT is not you pay, it's not a seller to pay, it's end customer to pay. Yeah. The only thing is for seller is you take the VAT from the customer and then you calculate how much and then pay to the government. It's not you actually pay from your pocket.
Yeah.
But once you make the price for your selling price of the products, you need to calculate the percentage of the tax add on top of your sales price. Then they will make it right. Otherwise, you don't add the tax on top, and then the government will ask you to pay the 5%, and then you from your own pocket.
Yeah.
So it's end customer to pay, not you.
Okay, so you're just basically, when you are listing your product on Amazon, maybe a lot of people don't see what happens, what's in between parentheses, because next to the recommended price or the price or whatever dashboard that you're using on Amazon, it says including 5% VAT. So when you put your price, it should include the 5% VAT, because technically you're taking it from the customer who is paying the 5% VAT. And like, just to make it very simple, it's as if you're taking it from the customer and giving it back to the government. So that 5% is not something that you should be paying out of your pocket unless your calculations are wrong, unless you're not calculating correctly how you're going to be able to, list, unless you're putting the wrong price for your products on Amazon. Great. Perfect.
That's right. Let me be more clearly afterwards, because sometimes you not register VAT, you're not allowed to take VAT.
Yeah.
But the VAT only allowed to take is once you have VAT registered.
Yeah. Great thing, Amy, that you said. Obviously, a lot of people that are with us tonight are maybe new sellers on Amazon. And if they reside in the UAE, so if they are residents of the UAE and KSA, they obviously haven't gotten to the threshold whereby they should, the mandatory or the obligatory threshold whereby they can register for VAT. So what happens in this case? Are they actually, taking the 5% and enjoying it? Or what exactly should happen? Because on Amazon, you can't not add the 5% VAT. It's not up to you.
I will explain for you later on, okay? If any question, you can ask me later. So for Saudi, they will start the VAT in the 20th of December 2017. The VAT rate was 5%. But I can say that the VAT increased to 15% since July last year. So in the Middle East, for like Amazon or Moon or like any other seller, like an e-commerce platform, there's no shared liability with seller. Not like in UK, not like in Europe. In UK now it's the same. So some country their sale platform liable to take all the VAT. But in Middle East, is the responsibility by the seller, your own responsibility to do this, not the platform. Okay, so that's why the full VAT compliance for the beginning of your seller is very important. Okay, next one, I will explain to you each country what's the voluntary registration or...
Before you move forward, Amy, because we have a lot of people, a lot of our community, as you know, speaks Arabic. So let me just quickly translate exactly what you said into Arabic, okay? So ايمي كانت عم بتقول انه عم بتفسر شوي الفرق بين ال VAT اللي هي الفاليو ادد تاكس او ضريبه القيمه المضافه. هيدي هي ال VAT، وانه هي ضريبه بتنحط على كل المنتجات يلي بتنباع بالامارات او بالسعوديه، ومثل ما معظمكم بيعرف ضريبه القيمه المضافه هي 5% بالامارات، وهلا حاليا صارت 15% بالمملكه العربيه السعوديه. والشيء الضروري تعرفوه هو يمكن شيء مش الجميع بينتبه له، هو انه الشخص يلي عم بيدفع فعليا ال VAT، يلي عم بيدفع ضريبه القيمه المضافه، هو مش البائع، يعني مش انتم كبائعين، ولكن الشخص العميل يلي عم يشتري المنتج، لانه هو اللي عم يدفع هيدي الضريبه فوق سعر المنتج، ونحن فعليا وتنكون عم ندفع الضريبه للدوله مثل شيء كانه عم ناخذ هال5% او هال15% من العميل وعم نرجع نردها للدوله كل 3 اشهر. طبعا هيدي بطريقه مبسطه جدا، هلا رح ندخل اكثر بالموضوع. والشيء الاضافي اللي ايمي حبت تفسره هو انه امازون كمنصة منا منصة بتشارك البائعين يلي بائعين الطرف الثالث يلي هو انتو، ما بتشارككم بانه تدفع نص على ال VAT او هي اللي بتدفع ال VAT، هي اللي بتدفع ضريبة القيمة المضافة. لا، هيدا موضوع متعلق فيكم انتو كبائعين، يعني انتو عليكم تكونوا مأكدين 100% انه كل شيء متعلق بالضريبة يكون جاهز وصحيح. Go ahead, Amy. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So let's talk about a UAE first. So UAE, the VAT system, if you are a local UAE company and there is a mandatory registration at 375,000, before you reach that, you don't have to register VAT. So which means if you not register VAT, you don't charge VAT.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, your products sell at 100 dirham, but you not register VAT, you don't need to report the VAT. That's your sale price. But if you're over the threshold, and you have to register VAT within 1 month, otherwise you will get 20,000 dirham penalty.
Okay.
So this is for local company.
Yeah.
If your local company, if you now reach 187,500, and then you are voluntary to register. If you're below that voluntary register, you may not get a VAT number.
Yeah.
That's for the local company. But if you really want to register VAT number, for example, before that, because once you register VAT number, you will have more credibility, right? For you trading with someone. So if you really want to register 185,000, 187,500 before you actually reach that, and we can help you as well, because we can find out what's your business activity. Maybe you will reach soon, and so we can help. But it doesn't mean there's not. But if you yourself to register before the voluntary threshold reach, they may have asked a lot of questions, provide a lot of documents.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, with the late deregistration penalty, which is 10,000, this I explained to you. For the people who already have VAT number, but your trading is below 187,500, then you have to deregister VAT. Otherwise, you will be.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So if you get there and then you go back under, you have to deregister.
Yes. Otherwise, you also will get a penalty.
Okay, that's nice. Yes, of course, I will deregister. If you're not making, yeah.
So let's talk about if you have VAT number is good or don't have VAT number is good. If you have VAT number, you will definitely have more credibility for your company. But if you are not sell mandatory registration threshold, for example, you don't have to register which means your price is not include VAT.
Yeah.
And your selling price will have more competitor price than the people who already register VAT, right?
Because you don't have to pay back the 5% or the 15%. But that's in KSA. So you don't have to pay the 5%, so that you can lower your prices more and you have a more competitive price.
Yes.
Perfect.
If you have the same price, then you don't have to report the VAT. This is for the local company. But if you're a foreign company,
I just got a question. I just got a question. Is it the same? These rules and regulations are the same for individuals and for companies?
Exactly same.
Yeah.
It's the same for individual or for a company, for limited company. Yeah. But if you are foreign company, for example, if you are not UAE company, if you are Saudi company, you are sell products in UAE, you will count as foreign company, right?
For sure. For sure.
So if you're a foreign company, there's no threshold. You have to register VAT at your first sales.
Yes. Okay. Let me quickly translate. Okay. So ايمي جميعا عم بتقلنا يعني بعض المعلومات اللي متعلقه بالVAT بالضريبه القيمه المضافه. مثل ما بتعرفوا اذا بتوصل مبيعاتكم ل 375 ألف درهم بالسنه سنويا بهيدا الرقم، كل شيء فوق هيدا الرقم بيعني انه انتم مجبورين انكم تسجلوا بضريبه القيمه المضافه او الVAT. أما في الرقم يلي يسمى بفولنتيري يعني اختياري، وقت توصلوا ل 187,500 درهم مبيعات بالسنة من وراء شغلكم على أمازون، أكيد هيدا بيعني إنه فيكم أنتم تختاروا إنكم تسجلوا بالVAT. أي شيء أوطى من هيدا الرقم بيعني إنه ما فيكم تجيبوا رقم ضريبي. الشيء الضروري تعرفوه، لأنه معظم الأشخاص بيقولوا شو بيصير إذا أنا ما سجلت، ما بدي سجل بالVAT. الشيء الضروري تعرفوه إنه في بنالتي، في مدفوعات لازم تندفع إذا تأخرتوا لحتى تسجلوا بالضريبة القيمة المضافة بالVAT. إذا تأخرتوا شهر، كنتوا واصلين أنتوا لهالأرقام وتأخرتوا شهر، بيكون يعني عليكم بنالتي تدفعوها 20,000 درهم. وإضافة آخر رقم اللي حكيت عنه اللي هو 10,000 درهم، إذا بينزلوا مبيعاتكم تحت 187,500 بالسنة، بيعني إنه لازم تشيلوا حالكم من الضريبة القيمة المضافة. لازم تقولوا إنه أنا بدكم تكنسلوا رقم الضريبة تبعكم. وإذا ما عملتوا هيدا الموضوع كمان بيكون عليكم بنالتي لازم تدفعوها اللي هي 10,000 درهم. موضوع الضريبة موضوع جدي، والواحد ضروري إنه يكون منتبه. والشيء كمان اللي كانت عم بتقوله ايمي هو انه اذا كنتوا شركه مش موجوده بالامارات، طبعا هول الاشياء عم نحكيهم عن الامارات، من المفترض انه تسجلوا من اول نهار بتبلشوا تعملوا فيه مبيعات على امازون، لانه تعتبروا شركه مش مقيمه، يعني مش شركه اماراتيه اكيد. Thank you, Amy.
That's okay. With later deregistration penalty the same. So if, for example, if you register VAT, you are foreign company. If you're full quota, so 1 year, you have no sales, you need to deregister.
Yeah. So Huria is asking if a company is registered in the UK as an LLC and is operating in Amazon, KSA, or UAE, can they do that with the same company details? We did show the list of countries that are approved to register on Amazon, UAE, and KSA. And yes, you can be a UK-based company and register on Amazon, UAE. And
yes.
KSA. But you will need to be VAT registered in one of those countries before or as soon as you start selling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would recommend you as soon as possible once you already have stock there, and then you need, because normally you need to register and take time.
Perfect.
Let's talk about the Saudi. Saudi is slightly different, but actually the rules are similar. So Saudi, they start the mandatory registration at December 20th at 2017. So once you sell over 1 million, and then you need to register. Okay. And for the mandatory registration at 20th of December 2018 was 375,000. And the voluntary is 187,500. All the rules are the same. The only difference is the penalty is 10,000, not as big. Yeah. Penalty is 10,000.
Amy, does the penalty also apply for? Obviously, it also applies for international companies as well.
Yes. The same rule. That's for the local company. I talk about the threshold is only for the local company.
No, I mean
foreign company.
But yeah, okay.
Foreign company, you have to register same as soon as you start to sell.
Yeah. Okay. No, the reason why I'm asking about the penalty is that a lot of people actually reach out to me and say, well, I'm not going to register. What are they going to do? What's the worst thing that could happen? I don't even live in the UAE, or I don't even live in KSA. Well, if you're in it to make a proper business.
I will explain to you what happened later. Yeah, okay? With Saudi penalty at the moment, all our company, all our clients not really get a penalty. So what the rule is, if you really have a difficulty, if you already sell on Saudi market, and we can help you out.
Yeah. Okay, so let me quickly say about KSA as well in Arabic. So مثل ما قالت إيمي، الأرقام بالسعودية بالمملكة العربية السعودية هي نفسهم مثل الأرقام بالإمارات، يعني نفس الأرقام تقريبا، بس بيتحولوا للريال السعودي للأشخاص يلي بدها تسجل بالVAT أو يلي حابة إنها تسجل وقتها توصل لرقم معين. يعني وقتها يوصلوا المبيعات ل 187,500 ريال السعودي، هون بخولكم هيدا الشيء انه يكون عندكم خيار انكم تسجلوا بالضريبه القيمه المضافه. اي شيء اوطى من هيك ما بتقدروا انكم تسجلوا. ولكن الفرق الوحيد هي بالبنالتي، هي يعني اذا تاخرتوا بدفع الVAT بتتغرموا 10,000 ريال اذا اخرتوا اكثر من شهر. غرامه منا هينه يعني، لذلك ضروري انكم تنتبهوا. For anyone who's asking, the rules that Amy is talking about are the same for companies and for individuals. It's the same thing, okay?
Yeah, exactly the same, yeah. So let's talk about the VAT registration documents, what you need. From UAE portal, from FTA portal, is the Federal Tax Authority. We are talking about it. FTA. So with FTA portal, you are able to register by yourself.
Yes.
You don't have to go through with anybody else if you don't want to. But the documents, they may ask you a lot. Maybe if you're not experienced, they will ask so many documents you can upload again. You may take a month, maybe a few months. Some clients come take half a year and come to us. So if you want to register yourself, what the document you need, which is company license, the direct passport, which is your managed passport, and company bank account, and confirmation of your turnover, a letter of declaration, and the authorized signature or sales invoice, and your platform link, which is like for example, your Amazon link or noon.com, your shop link, basically. So they may ask you even more documents, but this is the general documents they will ask you. That's the registration for UAE. And for Saudi, it's complete different. Saudi it's different because you are not able to register by yourself. If you are a foreign company. I'm talking about foreign company. If you are a local company, you may not, you may have to, I'm not sure. But if you are a foreign company And you have to have a local representative to go through to do everything for you, because the local representative requirement is for acting on behalf everything for all the tax affair. If you have anything happen, because you're foreigner, you're not local, they have to represent you to deal with all the tax issue for you. So the registration process is, once you authorize us, for example, you can authorize us as your tax representative locally, or you can authorize somebody else. And once you authorize the local representative, and then we'll send an email to tax office to Gazette, and they will send you link, and then we'll upload the link with all your documents, registration documents, and then go through with the process. It's not the same as UAE. So with Saudi, you have to go through with a local representative. All your documents has to be translated in English or Arabic. So for us, we can register Saudi VAT number for foreign company normally within a week. But if you're really urgent, you can get a couple of days. But 1 to 2 weeks, that's just general process. But some companies take much longer to register. So the document required is company license, direct passports, company bank accounts, and registration form, which is the form we make all the information put in our Word documents, make it easier for us to fill in. And that's a requirement, or the required documents in the form. And also they require as a shop link. For example, if you don't have shop link, and we can sort out for you as well. Yeah, this is the Saudi registration process. I have no sound. Sound.
Yes, sorry, I just noticed my sound was off. So I just wanted to tell you guys بس كنت بدي عم خبركم كنت عن ال VAT باللغة العربية. So إيمي كانت عم بتقول إنه بالإمارات بتقدروا إنكم تسجلوا أنتم شخصياً بالVAT على موقع FTA. طبعاً بيطلبوا أوراق عديدة، بس إنه بتقدروا تعملوا هيدا الموضوع شخصياً. أما بالسعودية كمان مبدئياً فيكم تعملوا هيدا الشيء. عم نحكي إذا كنتم مش مقيمين بالسعودية، ولكن انتم فعلا بحاجه لشركه تكون شركه بتكفلكم بالسعوديه لحتى تقدر تساعدكم انه اول شيء تجيبوا رقم ضريبه، ثانيا تقدروا انكم تدفعوا الضريبه كل 3 اشهر، لانه الطريقه شوي مختلفه بالمملكه العربيه السعوديه. طبعا رح نحكي عن كل هول التفاصيل. في عدد كبير من الاشخاص عم يسالوا وعم بيقولوا إذا ما عندهم شركة كيف بدهم يسجلوا بالضريبة القيمة المضافة. ولكن الفكرة هي إنه بكل بساطة لازم يعني ما بيكون عندكم شهادة شركة دغري بتسجلوا كانديفيدجوالز كأفراد. ولكن الحقيقة هي إذا كنتوا ساكنين بالإمارات أو السعودية وصرتوا بمرحلة إنه لازم تسجلوا بالVAT، مفروض وأفضل من ناحية البزنس والتجارة أفضل أكيد أنه يكون عندكم شركة بهيدي المرحلة من عملكم على أمازون. Great. Thanks, Amy. Let's keep going. So I'm just going to try to check if there's any interesting questions. However, if there's none, we'll just keep all of the questions till the end. I think it's better.
Okay, cool. So this is also just the VAT registration in Saudi, in Gaza. So we take information, you authorize us, and then we register through online portal. And after the tax office check up, then we get all the confirmation and receive the VAT number and give back to you. So with Saudi, with tax representative, they have to take care of all your tax issue, even though if you don't pay VAT, we will take the shared liability.
Okay. That's why wouldn't they pay the VAT?
Just in case.
Just in case.
Somebody don't pay. But normally, I understand that people are paying because for like 5% or 15% of VAT is really small. And for your business long run, that's just, one of the process. So, but some people maybe don't pay.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Okay, let's talk about the VAT filing. Once you receive the VAT number, and you have to file VAT. So for Saudi, the VAT filing is quarterly. So every 3 months, you file the VAT. For Saudi, is the same quarterly, but once your sales reach 40 million a year, and then you require to file monthly. So which means, if you file monthly, which means you file the VAT, you have to pay monthly as well. So the deadline is a little bit different if you file quarterly and monthly. If you file quarterly and with the quarter end, the next month, 28th of the month, you have to file the VAT and have to pay the VAT. So Saudi is the same. If you file the quarterly, normally the deadline is 28th of the month, but if you file monthly, the normally is 30th of the month. It's roughly the date and not exactly. So it all depends. The accountant will tell you the exactly. So once you file the VAT, what documents you need is VAT filing documents, is mainly Amazon reports or Amazon reports, or if you have any import invoice.
That's the thing that is very confusing, by the way, to sellers when they start selling on Amazon. This is part of the confusion because every month they're getting a VAT report and they don't understand what they're supposed to do with this report. So the idea is once you start paying the VAT, this is what you're going to have to do with the report. Just quickly, I just want to tell everyone, Amy, that in the description box, and as well as right now, I'm going to be adding it in the chat. I'm going to be adding the private WhatsApp group for Amy and her company. So if you want to talk to them, you can talk to them directly after the session. Yeah.
Okay, cool. If you have any questions, we can ask later.
Yes.
So I have a general guideline for you how to calculate VAT. For example, you buy the goods about 100 euro or 100 dirham or whatever. So the VAT is 5%. So which is, if you want the 5% of the VAT, so you times 5%, so which is 50. If 100 is 50, 1,000 is 50. So 100 is 5. So once you sell for 120 and your VAT amount is 60, so the actual amount you pay the VAT is, the amount is 60 deductible 50. So the value added amount is only 10 you need to pay. That's the VAT amount. So Amazon reports, I saw a lot of reports, for example, or different platform reports. In Europe, they have a lot more. I've seen that known reports, but I say eBay report. But Amazon report is really, really clear. They will say, you can say where's the goods dispatched from, where's the goods received, and the order number, everything. So you don't really need to worry about anything. So with the Amazon seller, all the Amazon reports will show very clear and very easy to calculate how much VAT you need to pay.
Okay, exactly. جميعا بس عم بتقول ايمي طبعا للامارات وللسعوديه الموضوع هو نفسه. من المفترض انه نحن نقدم كل الاوراق اللي بتجينا من امازون، اللي هي الفواتير اللي بتجي من امازون من مبيعاتنا كل 3 اشهر طبعا، وتتوصلوا لمرحله انه تكونوا مسجلين بالفي اي تي. الفي اي تي بيتقدم وبيندفع كل 3 اشهر، كل كوارتر، كل ربع يعني تبع السنه. ولكن بس المملكه العربيه السعوديه وتيوصلوا لمبيعات فوق ال 40 مليون ريال، ساعتها بيصير الفي اي تي يندفع كل شهر، لانه طبعا بيكون رقم كثير كبير لحتى يصير يندفع كل 3 اشهر. اضافه طبعا انه ما لازم يكون في دفع على الفي اي تي، والاوراق اللي بتوصلكم من امازون اللي متعلقه بالضريبه ما بتستعملوها اذا كنتوا انتم مش مسجلين بالضريبه القيمه المضافه، يعني بتخزنوها اذا بدكم تتركوها عندكم، بس بعدين بتبقوا بتستعملوها. وبالاوراق يلي بتقدم لنا اياها امازون كل شهر للمبيعات تبعنا كثير واضح قد ايه الواحد يدفع ضريبه القيمه المضافه، سو تطلعوا عليهم لحتى تعرفوا كيف الفي اي تي وقد ايه رح يكون الرقم اللي بدكم تدفعوه. So everyone who's asking, Amy just disappeared.
Sorry, I'm coming. I just switched to the lights. It seems a little bit dark now. In the UK now.
No worries. Yeah.
I started.
So Amy, I'm getting a lot of questions regarding. Well, we're gonna, guys, stay with us. We'll answer all the questions at the end of the session, I promise. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, cool. Let's go next one. So with payment, the payment is completely different in UAE and in Saudi. So in UAE, once you have the VAT number, you will, from FTA account, you will say, there's a GBAN number, the GBAN, which is your VAT bank account number. So once you make a payment, you can send the money into this account. So this is designated account, similar, linked with your VAT number. So that's your bank number. So once, if you want to pay money earlier in this account, you can. And for example, I haven't calculated my VAT, but deadline is 28th. So now I pay a little bit more money into the account. They will take from that.
So it's basically like a bank account, and you can add money to it. Yeah,
like a bank account. But we will advise you to calculate before you pay. Don't pay too much for that. Yeah, but if you really want, you can. That's the VAT payment account. So that's for UAE. But for Saudi, it's completely different. In Saudi, you cannot pay as a GBAN number, which is belong to you. So in Saudi, once you make VAT filing, you will receive the invoice from SADAD. So this invoice, then you make a payment. Your payment can be a bank transfer, can be a cash coin to make a payment, or can be a third party make a payment. For example, if you don't have bank account, you can send the money to us because we are your representative. If you send money to us because we have to do the work, designate your money, they will have fee charge. Banker will have fee charge too. So we will recommend you to make a payment yourself. But there's a lot of issue we find out with Saudi payment. The issue cost is, first, there's no local bank account, even not in UAE. Maybe they're in US or maybe in UK. Most of a company maybe from China. So they use a third party to make a payment, and the payment was come out from USD dollars, but receive the money from Saudi is a different currency. So the currency exchange and the bank charge is really hard to find your payment. So that's the big issue in Saudi at the moment. It costs lots of time for us.
Okay, and that's why you recommend that somebody has a representative, whereby they send the money to the representative and they just handle everything for them, because it's a little bit complicated when you don't have a bank account in KSA, especially you're saying with the people that you are representing, Chinese sellers, for example, UK-based sellers, people who are completely outside of the GCC, so not even in the UAE. That becomes very complicated.
Yes, that's a big issue.
Perfect.
Okay.
So can I translate that? Yes, let me translate that. Okay. So الشيء اللي كانت عم بتقوله ايمي هو وقتها بدكم تدفعوا ضريبة القيمة المضافة كل 3 أشهر. طبعا بالإمارات الموضوع مختلف عن المملكة العربية السعودية. بالإمارات بيطلع لكم وقتها يكون عندكم رقم ضريبة بيصير في شيء اسمه جيبان، شبيه بالايبان اللي بنسمع عنه اللي هو متعلق بالحساب تبعكم. الجيبان هو الحساب تبعكم للضريبه، وبتدفعوا على هيدا الحساب، وفيكم حتى تحطوا بقلبه مصاري هيدا الحساب قبل ما تكونوا عارفين فعليا قد ايه لازم تدفعوا. يعني هيدا بيكون حسابكم الخاص. بينما بالسعوديه بيندفع عبر نظام سداد، يلي هو حسب ايمي عم بتقول انه سهل جدا اكيد للاشخاص يلي ساكنين وموجودين وعندهم حسابات داخل المملكه وبالريال السعودي، بس عم بيكون في مشاكل كتير للاشخاص يلي خارج المملكه، خاصه للاشخاص يلي عندهم حسابات مش بالامارات مثلا، يلي عندهم حسابات بالدولار، باليورو، بالبريتش باوندز، بالسترليني، لانه عم بيكون في كتير مشاكل بتحويل العملات. لذلك ايمي وعدد كبير من الشركات بيقدموا الخدمه انه هن بيدفعوا نيابه عنكم، بياخذوا هن الاموال بالعمله اللي انتم بتتعاملوا فيها، وهن بيدفعوا بالريال السعودي، وبيتفادوا كل المشاكل اللي ممكن تصير اذا الواحد كان خارج المملكه. Great.
Okay, let's go for next one. So now a lot of people will interesting. If I don't pay, if I don't register, what's gonna happen? Now I'll tell you what's gonna happen. If you don't register, if you don't pay, you may get your Amazon account suspended. That's the normal thing. But if you don't pay for, at the moment, for the local government, they may not check you. But for long term, they will. Because I see what happened in Europe. At the beginning, no one doing anything, even if you don't pay anything. But I live in Europe I live in UK for 20 years. I know what the difference between Europe and the Middle East.
Yeah.
The Middle East, the penalty is really strong, and if you don't pay penalty, they will put your interest is rolling. But for Europe, if you don't pay, they will normally send you a letter and warning you, or if you appeal, they will give you.
So you're saying they're a little bit nicer.
No, it's different culture.
It's a different culture,
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
Different background. For I understand it, because in Europe, and they are much more, the people
tolerant. They're a little bit more tolerant. Yeah. And don't forget, in Europe, especially in the UK, there are a lot of other taxes. In the UAE as well as in KSA, the only tax is the VAT. So it's very, there's no income tax. So it's very serious to be paying this type of tax, especially if you're making the money that you're essentially making when you are working.
Yeah, this is the cultural background or difference, and the country policy difference. For example, if you have in US, if you have a tax affair, they will put you in the prison, right? But in Europe, it's not. They're really soft.
Yes.
Yeah. In China, it's really strict. For example, Chinese culture is, if I want something, I want now. But in Europe, if you want something, like, please wait. I wait longer. Yes, it's type of different things to do. So for Middle East, if you don't register, there will penalty straight away. The penalty will add on. For example, if you in UK, if you don't register, there's no penalty. No penalty. It also, you just pay off the before tax. That's it. But not late registration penalty. From Middle East, they already have late registration penalty was 20,000, right? And for Saudi is 10,000. So for if you don't file, you have late filing penalty. And if you don't make a payment, you late payment penalty. They will add it together for you if they find out. So also, if you file wrong, they will have a discrepancy penalty. So for whatever, if you don't do, and your Amazon account probably suspended, or you may not allowed to stay this country. For example, if you don't pay anything, you say that, oh, I'm foreign anyway, I'm not going to stay in the country. Exactly. But they normally what they're doing is that, for example, if you don't pay, I found you, and then you're not registered, you're not paying anything, and they put you in the court. And the courts after you, they can really find you because you're not local. They will put your information in the immigration.
Yes.
That you may not able to come into the country. That's the consequence.
Yeah.
So from the left side, there is a picture which is a late registration penalty. This is from yesterday. One of my customers sent me.
Yeah.
So he said, oh, I got the VAT number down now, but they have late registration penalty. So if you have any late registration penalty, and we still can help you, we can send a reconciliation for tax office. They may consent to waive you. For example, if you don't know anything, but if you if you follow the rule, you may able to waive this penalty. But
or at least to get it reduced.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Great. Should I translate? Yeah. So الشيء اللي كانت عم بتقوله ايمي هو يمكن عدد كبير منكم بيقول انا مش رح سجل بالفي اي تي، خاصه اذا كنتم مش ساكنين بالامارات. شو ممكن يصير؟ شو اسوأ شيء ممكن يصير؟ ولكن الحقيقه هي انه اسوأ شيء ممكن يصير هو انه يتوقف حسابكم على امازون. ممكن مش بالبدايه، ولكن بوقت معين رح ينكمش الحساب انه عم يعمل هول الاموال وهول الارقام، ولكن ما عم يندفعوا كضريبه داخل الدوله. اذا كنتوا ساكنين او اذا كنتوا مش ساكنين بالامارات، الموضوع هو نفسه جد الموضوع، لانه في بنالتي، في غرامه مرتفعه اللي هي 20,000 درهم بس اذا الواحد تاخر شهر على دفع او على تسجيل رقم الضريبه. يعني الموضوع جدي. وعم بتقول ايمي انه ممكن يوصل لمرحله انه للاشخاص اللي منهم طبعا اماراتيين اللي هن موجودين بالامارات من جنسيات مختلفة، ممكن الموضوع يوصل لحتى انه ينحط اسمكم داخل الاميجريشن، وممكن يسبب هيدا مشاكل لوجودكم داخل الامارات او داخل السعودية. سو موضوع الفي اي تي ما ضروري انه نخوفكم، يعني هي ما في خوف، بس موضوع جدي ضروري الواحد انه يسجل من اول مرة، يعني وقت يكون بيتوجب عليه انه يسجل. So it's taking it seriously. It shouldn't be something that you don't take seriously. It should be taken very seriously. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about what the penalty is. So for late filing, if for example you miss the filing, the first time they will fine you at 1,000 dirham, and if you have the same time happened at the 24 months, you will get 2,000. The later payment, the next one is payment. For example, within 7 days, the penalty is the VAT amount of 2% within 7 days. But after 7 days, it's going to be 4%. So after 30 days, every day we'll add 1% on top, increase until 300%.
Oh my God. That's a big number. Yeah.
That's UAE.
Yeah. اوكي سو اذا تاخرتوا لحتى تقدموا الضريبه اللي لازم تندفع كل 3 اشهر، اول مره بتتغرموا 1000 درهم. اذا كمان مره ثانيه تاخرتوا لحتى تقدموا الاوراق اللي من خلالها بتدفعوا الفي اي تي كل 3 اشهر، اذا تاخرتوا مره ثانيه خلال 24 شهر كمان الغرامه بتكون 2000 درهم. بس المشكله الاكبر هي الغرامه اللي بتندفع وقت تتاخروا بدفع الفي اي تي. يعني طبعا ان احنا بنقدم او ما يعرف بالانجليزي بفايلنج، بنقدم الاوراق تبعنا لحتى نعرف قد ايه بدنا ندفع في اي تي مثلا كل 3 اشهر. اذا تاخرنا بمده تقريبا 7 ايام عن المده الحقيقيه اللي لازم ندفع فيها او عن النهار النهائي اللي بيتخولنا انه ندفع فيه الفي اي تي، الغرامه بتكون 2% زياده. اذا اكثر من 7 ايام 4% زياده عن الاماونت اللي نحن لازم ندفعها. يعني اذا كانت 1000 درهم 2% زياده على ال 1000 درهم. واخر شيء كل اكثر من 7 ايام بيصير ينزاد 1% كل يوم لمده 30 يوم لحتى يوصل لرقم اقصى 300%. يعني الموضوع جدي. اوكي ايمي. It's serious.
Yeah, it's really serious.
Yes.
So another penalties is, for example, if your price supposed to include VAT, but you not supposed to include VAT and you did. So the penalty is 15,000. It's a lot. So the invoice, don't make a mistake with invoice.
But just not to make it very clear. We're talking here for invoices. We're not talking here for Amazon, because Amazon, the VAT is already included, whether you are registered or not. So I don't want people to be confused.
Okay, let's don't talk about this. Is like a VAT thing. Okay, let's skip this out.
I don't want you guys to be confused. That's why.
Okay. So let's talk about Saudi penalty. Saudi penalty a little bit better than UAE. UAE more strict and much higher. So if you not pay in time and your VAT is the penalty is like about 5%, maximum 25% of VAT amount of the fine. So it's much softer than UAE, but still we get a penalty.
اوكي سو المشاكل يعني الغرامات اللي بتكون داخل المملكه للاشخاص اللي ممكن انه يتاخروا بدفع الفي اي تي شوي اقل او شوي ابسط من الغرامات اللي موجوده بالامارات. ممكن يوصلوا ل 5% اذا تاخر الواحد شهر على دفع الفي اي تي او حتى على تقديم الفي اي تي، او ممكن يوصل ماكسيمم ل 10,000 ريال سعودي، بينما شفتوا الارقام اللي موجوده بالامارات مرتفعه شوي اكثر.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's okay. So this is about Saudi penalty for VAT. I'm not put in details because something is not related. So don't confuse you. I can leave all these slides for you guys if you need it.
Yes, we will send them over. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a little bit about import and dispatch goods to Saudi, because I'm a seller, so I understand a little bit how it works. And from Chinese seller sides, they have lots of issue with import goods to Saudi. Have issue for them import goods to UAE as well, because from a no Saudi company or no UAE company, this company, a foreign company, they are not able to get a CI number, so which is customer import number, which means they're not able to import by themselves. I'm not sure exactly about Saudi company if you're able to import to UAE, but if you're local company, you are.
You're able. In the UAE, it's much easier. But for KSA, you need a CI import number and or a CI, a custom import number. And you as Safari Star can be able to help with that as well.
Yes, we can. So you basically you act as an importer for the client to do the work.
Yeah. Perfect.
So for Amazon FBA dispatch, so it's easy because Amazon will sort out everything for you. But if you have local warehouse, it's make much more complicated for you. Yeah. And also, I understand they have a lot more people are interested in COD delivery, which is on cash on delivery. They're not paying before you receive the goods.
Sure.
So that's very important if you find the right logistic company or importer for you to act as your importer.
You need to be worried about these things if you're not doing Amazon. That's why for people who are foreigners, maybe Amazon or Noon even, those are really good platforms to start with because they take care of all the logistics basically.
Yes.
So الشيء اللي عم بتقوله ايمي وشغله كتير اساسيه وضروريه، كيف بدكم تقدروا تفوتوا منتجاتكم اذا انتم كنتوا اشخاص مش موجودين داخل السعوديه، يعني اشخاص مثلا موجودين ممكن تكونوا بالامارات او حول العالم عندكم شركات وبدكم تبلشوا تبيعوا على امازون بالسعوديه. الشيء الضروري لحتى تقدروا تفوتوا منتجاتكم على السعوديه هو انه يكون عندكم سي اي، رقم استيراد. يمكن هيدي افضل طريقه بقدر ترجم الموضوع، سي اي نمبر اللي هو كاستم امبورت نمبر، لحتى تقدروا انكم تدخلوا منتجات على قلب السعوديه. وشركة ايمي اللي هي سفاري ستار بتقدر تساعدكم بهيدا الموضوع. والشيء اللي ايمي عم بتقوله انه طبعا صعب الواحد يكون شركة خارجية وعم بتقدم خدمات التجارة الإلكترونية مش على مواقع مثل موقع امازون او موقع نون يلي هن بيقدموا خدمات التوصيل عبر نظام الاف بي اي او عبر نظام الاف بي ان يلي موجود عند نون، وهن بيقدموا الدفع عند الاستلام، وكل هول الخدمات هن بيقدموها تجاه البائعين. لذلك منكم مضطرين تفكروا بالمستودعات وكل هول التفاصيل، لانه طبعا شوي صعبه وتكونوا اشخاص مش موجودين داخل المملكه، يعني شركات خارجيه مثل ما اذا كنتوا بالامارات بدكم تبيعوا بالسعوديه او حتى بالقلب، يعني من السعوديه على الامارات. طبعا الموضوع يعني صعب، بس بعرف عدد كبير منكم بيسال كيف رح اقدر فوت منتجاتي على السعوديه، وهو عبر هيدا السي اي نمبر يلي من خلاله بتقدر انكم تدخلوا منتجاتكم من دون اي مشكله. Great. This is a very big question, so thank you so much for clarifying that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Actually, from now, my webinar is almost finished. So a little bit know a bit more about self. So from now, I set up UAE and KSA VAT solutions. If anyone have any questions, I'm happy to answer now. Or if you, after this webinar, you can scan the barcode, which is this one as well. There's a link here is a WhatsApp group. We can discuss in the group if I can help you anything.
For sure. Thank you so much, Amy. So let's get going with everybody's questions, because I know we have a lot of questions. Okay, do you want to close the so we can see you? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's get started. We had a lot of questions from there was a big confusion. I think we should talk about it again, whether if I'm not VAT registered yet and I'm selling, let's say I live in the UAE, I sell on Amazon UAE, or vice versa, I live in KSA and I sell on Amazon KSA, and I have to, in the Amazon platform, the VAT is already part of the price. So technically speaking, what should I do? Should I pay back the VAT? I can't, because I'm not VAT registered. Exactly. So that's what, So basically I'm taking that money if you know, for a lack of better terms.
You're a foreign company.
No, you're a local company.
You're a local company. Have you over the threshold?
You haven't reached the threshold.
Then you don't have to pay.
Exactly. Then you don't have to pay. Fantastic.
Because the price does not include the VAT. But you're not allowed to invoice VAT, send invoice with VAT. Exactly. So your invoice have no VAT. Then you don't have to pay.
Because you're not allowed to take VAT when you send an invoice to someone. Another question is a lot of people are confused about the year. So when it comes to the 375,000 dirhams, it's not a year, doesn't mean that it's from January till December. No. So can you just clarify that? What is a year?
You only need to know, because the past you don't need to worry about it. You only start for this year, for example. For 1 year you reach the sales, then you have to register within 1 year.
Yeah, but the question is, does the year start in January, or does it start from the day that you start selling? How can you
you need a period of 12 months. Yes. That should be the calendar year.
It should be a calendar year. Perfect. Great. Who else has any questions? Let's get going. So Ahmed, Ahmed is helping us answer the questions. So we have a question from Igmen. As a foreign FBA seller, which VAT number shall I enter into? Add a tax registration number under sellercentral.ae. Igmen is a foreign FBA seller. Which VAT number? It should be the VAT number for the marketplace that you're selling in. So it should be for the VAT for the UAE. So since you are selling in the UAE as a foreign company, the tax number, Amy, correct me if I'm wrong, should be the UAE tax number.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
If you sell in UAE, you have to register UAE tax number. If you sell in Saudi, you need to register Saudi VAT number.
Okay. Lots of people ask, even though we have talked about it in the beginning, the fact that if they are a UK-based company, a US-based company, all of that, and they want to sell on Amazon UAE and KSA, you're very most welcome. We'd love to have you. But the question is, Amy, are they going to be double taxed? So basically, are they going to be paying VAT in the UAE and paying income VAT in the US, for example?
If you are a company in, if you are, you don't pay double tax, right? Because you pay VAT, which is the goods at the VAT for the goods, but your corporate tax, your company profit, you pay where your company established. So there's no double tax. No.
There's no double tax. You're not paying VAT.
No.
You're paying VAT here, but you're paying a different type because you're making money as a company, even if it's outside of the country that your company is in. Well, obviously, it depends on which country it is, because obviously each and every country has its own tax rules. But that's
like a UAE, there's no corporate tax, right? There's only VAT.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I hope it stays like this forever. So Beatrice is asking, so she plans to sell, she is in the UAE. She's planning to sell on Amazon KSA. Should she actually wait until she starts making her sales and then register for VAT? Or should she get a VAT number straight away before she even makes a sale?
If you are in UAE, you have the threshold. You don't have to register now. If you're foreign,
she wants to sell on Amazon KSA as a foreigner, obviously.
I would recommend you, once you already send the stock there, then register
straight
away. Because you
first
need to take time.
Okay, straight away.
Or you make it first the sales.
Yeah. So a question from Karim Al-Harouni. He's asking, do I need to form a company in KSA to have a VAT number? Karim, let us know if you are actually living in KSA or if you are a foreigner. So maybe it would be easier for Amy to answer the question, because it makes a difference if you are in the UAE, for example, and you want to sell in KSA, or vice versa. Am I right?
This as a foreign seller. If you are in UAE, you want to sell products in Saudi, you don't need an informal company in Saudi. For example, if you have a company in UAE, you can use UAE company sell products in Saudi, and use UAE company to register Saudi VAT number. That's all.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So let's get it. Let's rewind it one more time, because I think it's a little bit confusing for some people. So let's make it as simple and clear as possible. If you want to sell in the UAE or in KSA and you're an international seller, basically you don't live either in the UAE or in KSA, do you need to register for VAT from the very first minute you decide to start selling?
Yes, you need to register VAT at the first sales. So
at first, technically at first sales, but what Amy is saying, do it before, because if you are a little bit late, because it does take a lot of documentation and all of that, and if you are late, you're going to be penalized. So you might as well register before, maybe while your products are being shipped to the UAE and KSA, because as she was clear, penalties are not a joke in the UAE and KSA. They're serious. They're like big penalties. You don't want to be spending 10,000 or 20,000 dirhams just because you're a few weeks late. That's a lot of money. Yeah. So make sure you do that. Amy, I don't know if we can answer this question, but why should they register? Like, why is it that a person that is living in the UAE doesn't have to register for VAT until they get to a certain threshold, whereas international sellers have to register?
Because it's the same thing. All the governments will protect your local company, right?
Exactly. So it's basically protecting the local businesses and the local countries. Whereas if you are a foreign company, you don't live in the UAE, you don't yourself pay any taxes. You're just basically making money from people living. So it's just it's a fair balance, let's say.
Yeah, this actually happens in lots of countries. The same in UK. For UK's threshold at 85,000, but for foreign seller in UK, you have to register straight away.
Okay, so back to Karim's question. Karim is saying he lives in KSA, but he is not a Saudi citizen. So he's not a Saudi citizen, and he wants to sell on Amazon in KSA. Should he register for VAT? Does he need a company to register for VAT in KSA?
I think at one time you're allowed to register as an individual, but we would recommend you register as a company, because Amazon intends to support more company rather than individual as well. So same thing. At the moment, we get VAT number for individual before, but they may change.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Especially in Saudi Arabia, probably. Okay. Zuhair is asking, in case I made a mistake in calculating the VAT, you shouldn't make a mistake, and I paid less. Oh. Can I correct the mistake in the next period of payment?
You can. There's called a voluntary disclosure, and at the there's certain amount, and they have a small amount of penalty, but a certain amount is free.
Okay, perfect. But try not to make a mistake.
Try not
to make a mistake from the beginning. That's why it's essential that if you can do it yourself, do it yourself. But if you can get somebody, you need to know the information. But once you become somebody who has to pay VAT, you're obviously doing good amount of sales, or you're wanting to sell in a foreign country like the UAE if you're an international company, because there is assets here. So you should have somebody to help you, especially in the beginning, because it's something that it should be taken seriously. Perfect.
Yeah.
Amy, I think we've already taken up all of the time that we have for tonight. I want to thank you so much for your time. Again, for everyone, we did share Amy, and she put up the QR code. And if you want to reach out to her, you'll find the Safari Star private group, whereby you can ask them directly anything you want. You'll find it in the chat, or you'll also find it in the description box. Amy, any last words?
Well, thank you so much, Crystal. I'm really glad, and thank you everyone here, and thank you for your time. I hope today's webinar helped you. If you have any question, I'm really happy to help.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Okay, thank you very much.
And thank you so much to your wonderful team. I know VAT and taxes isn't a very easy subject for people who are starting out on Amazon, and hopefully we were able to break it down a little bit. It becomes easier the more knowledge you have around this business, hopefully.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you
everyone.
very much.
Thank you.